Hello.
Good morning, everybody.
We're having technical difficulties with and first of all, what am I doing here? I didn't do this workout. It's Molly's birthday today. We could talk about that.
Happy birthday, Molly.
So Emma, oh my word. They're just slamming the door. Banner's like unloading all the stuff from his backpack because it was too heavy, and then he's trying to shut the door, but half of it's stuck in the door. Anyway, sorry about that. Emma's trying to figure out what's going on with the video of the workout that you guys did. So I don't know. Let me see if I can make sure I can see the comments.
I don't see any comments yet. Yeah. Do we want to talk about the upcoming week of programming first, or do we want to stick with?
Sure.
Maybe we jump into that kind of.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's talk about. I mean, we can at least start with talking about the vault workout that you were about to see, hopefully. And if not, then not. But yeah, you did this workout, and so today's Molly's birthday, and she's going on. Hey, Jenna. She's going on a bike ride with Adam this morning, and so I offered to. Well, she asked me. I offered. We're both people pleasers, so we went back and forth a lot. And finally, I was like, I'm going to do it. So just go over your bike ride. And so here we are. But this workout is. I didn't do it. You guys did it, and it's long. It's kind of, if you come from CrossFit, like a Fight Gone Badish type workout with the 1 minute intervals. But do you want to read what it is?
Yeah. So it's 5 rounds. The first minute is going to be max rep toe to bar. Second minute is max rep shoulder to overhead. Third minute is max rep box jump. And then the fourth minute is max rep wall ball. On minute 5, you rest. You repeat that 4 more times. So this one's actually pretty simple in terms of A, B, and C. They're all, pretty much the same movement, just different pieces of equipment. So that doesn't really change. And then shift, I believe, is going to be 3 sets of 4-minute AMRAPs where you have like a 7 sit-ups, 7 dumbbell shoulder press, 7 low jump, and then 7 air squats. So that one you just repeat for the 4-minute AMRAP.
Cool.
But yeah, like Mer said, this one is long. It gets pretty grueling because, Fight Gone Bad, if you're familiar with that, is only 3 rounds. This is 5. So it's literally.
I know. Molly was like, what's up with the 5 rounds? And I was like, well, I don't know. It's also only 4 minutes. Fight Gone Bad is 5 or whatever. Yeah, and what week is this? Is this 19, 18, something like that?
Week 19. Yeah.
So we're in it. If you guys are 19 weeks in, you're ready for the
for some longer ones.
5 rounds. Yeah.
Yeah. I did really enjoy this one, though. I will say I was like kind of dreading it before we started just because of how much it was going to be. But I did actually really find it to be really fun. And the movements complement each other really well in the sense that you can kind of go from one movement to the next. And there is some, fatigue from one movement to the next, but not terrible.
Do you remember, because I know the way that we put together the vault every year, at least now, is like each one of us will come. So me, you, Alex, and Julian will come up with like some workouts. I know some of this year's workouts, I think at least one came from Kariana as well. Does this mean she figured it out?
I don't know.
Do you remember who programmed this one initially?
I actually don't. I was going to ask you because I don't remember.
I do believe it was. It wasn't me for sure because it was in there before I went in and started like looking over all of it.
It wasn't me.
It had to have been. Maybe it was Alex then.
Either Alex or Julian.
No, Julian wouldn't have come up with this one.
Okay. He doesn't like this style of workout.
I don't know that he doesn't like it. I don't think I've ever seen him create like a minute workout.
Yeah.
It's like not his like go-to,
I could see it being Alex. It was probably Alex.
All right, cool. I'm just putting a link in IG if people want to come chat with us.
Good morning, Julie.
If you guys are just joining us, we're having some technical difficulties with the vault playing. And if she can't get it to play, then we'll just chat for a little bit and then maybe they can just put it up later or something. But we're going to go over the programming in the meantime for this week. So I know Molly had sent me some of her notes. I don't know if I should give it away of like how many reps she got and all of that in case you wanted to watch the workout. This one would be a fun one to do if you typically work out alone, to like put it up on your like screen of some sort and do it along with you and Molly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it will be easy to stay with somebody.
Totally.
Like
And you just rotate at the same time.
Yeah.
There's kind of two ways to approach this one, right? Maybe we shouldn't talk about this one too heavily so that we still have stuff to talk about later. But like, there's kind of two ways where you can look and be like, oh, well, I know I can get a lot of reps on this movement. And so I'm going to like hold back on this movement versus like, no, I'm just going to go for it. And whatever happens.
Yeah.
I would encourage the latter.
I think that was one of Molly's tips is like, you're going to know sort of the movements where your strengths lie and where you can really push. And then some of those others where you might have to pace. Because even though this workout has 1 minute rest, it doesn't do a lot for you. It just really gives you a little bit of time to chalk up or mentally sort of, prepare for what's going to come next. But it's not a lot of time to recover.
You know what's so funny? Like, I feel like in a workout like this where you have to rotate in a minute. So you're already like, oh, well, I have to keep moving. And then there's also scheduled rest. I feel like if it was just 5 rounds of the 4 stations with no rest, you would end up resting a lot more than a minute. Okay. Like if you added up all your accumulated rest, because you would
totally,
I don't know, you wouldn't be like, well, I get to rest in just a minute, so I'm not going to rest now,
Yeah, totally. There's so like that pressure to move.
Yeah. Or it's like, okay, my rest is coming. Cool. Yeah. Lots of options for this one. Again, I don't want to dive into it too deep in case we have to go live in a little bit to like actually talk about it. But options for this one for, obviously customizations for the toes-to bar, whatever equipment you want to use on the shoulder to overhead.
Shoulder to overhead can be push press, push jerk, whatever you feel most efficient at.
Here's the thing, Chelsea. Like, I remember Molly was like, so Molly has a birthday workout. And if you guys look at it and go in the birthday workouts, I know for sure that it's got shoulder to overhead, box jumps, and wall balls in it. I think it's like 30, 30 or something like that.
Is it kind of like that? Is it like one of the 5-round hero workouts, or like maybe just a 5-round girl workout? I feel like it's kind of like that one where it's like the running. I can't even remember.
It definitely, I feel like it's 5 rounds of 30 reps of those. So it's not that much different of a workout is what I'm trying to say. So
I will say she's very strong overhead, because I heard her barbell hitting her shoulder and I was like, what the heck? And I was using dumbbells, and afterwards she's like, well, dumbbells are a little harder. I'm like, Molly, you don't need to make me feel good. It's okay. She's just too nice.
So I remember when she was like, she got assigned to this one. It's really bad for her because she's so good at all this stuff. She doesn't consider herself to be good at toes to bar, but the other 3, she's so good at it that you're going to just do so many reps. But then I also kind of feel bad for you having to do it with her because she's so good at all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it just makes you go so slow.
I could like hear her behind me because we had to face the same direction. And hearing her feet on the box and hearing the barbell on her shoulders, like I knew where she was in comparison to me. So I had that pressure to like try to keep up the whole time for sure.
Yeah. I mean, so her birthday workout was put together because it's like all the things she's good at. I'm going to pull it up really quick because it's her birthday today. Molly's 40 today, by the way, you guys, and just crushing it.
Jenna mentions that the girl workout that I was talking about was Kelly. That is it. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Molly's birthday workout is 5 rounds of 30 wall balls, 30 push press, and 30 box jumps. So just throw some toes to bar in there, and it's basically today's workout. That one's 5 rounds also, and it's 150 of each of those reps. So I feel like it's actually potentially even more than what you guys were doing. Cool. Well, let's talk about the other days in case we come back and like revisit that workout and go through it and talk about it later. Tuesday is, whoops, I accidentally started. Tuesday, we've got step ups and Turkish get ups, Julian's favorite movement.
Yeah.
So Julian and I did an episode on Friday for any of you that caught it, talking about how through this endurance cycle, we've been even more aware of, thank you, Emma, even more aware of the intensity from Monday to Wednesday. And this week's vault is high rep, high volume, high intensity. So this is an example where you've got half rack, half down. Can you explain what that is? What's half rack, half down?
You guys are going to hold one dumbbell. You could also use kettlebells for this. I think kettlebells would be a little bit harder, but you can do that. You'll hold one, weight in the front rack position, and then you're going to hold one weight all the way down so that it's like in the farmer position.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about this before, but this is definitely, going to slow this movement down. So if you guys typically move through step ups fairly quickly, you're going to have to slow down a little bit because it's going to require a little bit more control. You maybe aren't going to be able to transition quite as quickly into the next rep, which is kind of partly why we programmed it, I think, because it's going to force you to move a little bit slower, focus on your stability and your movement a little bit more.
Yeah, it's like the weight. It's not that it's so there's the suit like a suitcase or a one dumbbell step up, which that's unevenly distributed. So it's not that there's an unequal weight, but where when it's being held in a different place, just the your midline and all of that and your balance is thrown off. So yeah, it'll slow you down. And we did that on purpose.
Yeah.
And then, so you've got 90 of those and then 30 of the get ups. And it says accumulate however you like. So you could do sets of whatever, 10.
I think there's actually some guidance. If you guys read the coach's notes, I think there's you can do 5 rounds of 18 step ups and 6 reps, 3 per side of the Turkish get up. So there's kind of options in the coach's notes, but you really can break it up however it works for you. You can also choose to go straight through it, how it's written.
Oh my word. Yeah.
But that would be pretty rough.
If I would say if you're no, I kind of want to mess myself up today. I feel fine. Then that would be the most grueling way to do it. Not necessarily metabolically, because you're going to have to rest a lot. But as far as a challenge, a mental challenge, going straight through would be really difficult. Now I want to say, so the half up or half rack, half down step up, that's a lot to say. Still alternate your feet. Yes. So don't just step up with one foot when you've got it on one shoulder and then the other foot when you've got it on the other shoulder. Feet should still be alternating.
And so with that, if you can alternate what side the weight is on. So maybe you do 5 reps on the right side.
Exactly. Yes.
5 on the left.
Exactly. Make sure that you're getting an even. Once you get to the 90, it should be 45 per side. Ideally.
Yeah. Okay. And I actually just saw extra challenge is don't break it up, go straight through.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. And then you've got a program C option where you throw the sandbag just on one shoulder. And then guys, do not sleep on a sandbag Turkish get up.
No.
You're not holding the sandbag up here, by the way. So watch the video. It's on your shoulder, but if you want to find a movement that's applicable to life, if you have a small child, you will have to do this movement.
Yeah.
Hundreds of times, because your baby lays on you and you're like, how am I going to get up? I got to get up while still holding him. So
that would be so challenging for sure.
The sandbag get up is really hard.
But yeah, this one is just for completion. So the goal is just to move for quality. So if you are feeling beat up from Monday, it's a great one to kind of bring down the intensity and just move through it.
Well, no and let's see why, because we're week 2 of endurance now. And then the following day, you've got 5 to 6 rounds of a 400 meter. I'm just going to read the running version. 400 meter easy, 200 meter moderate, and then a 100 meter very hard. And we really, you guys, if you're going to get the most out of these endurance sessions as possible, don't just do the distance where, this is 700 meters each time. And you could just keep the same pace for all 700 meters. But if you really want to get the most that you can out of, and I'm not saying that I haven't had times where I've had to do that with workouts like this, where it's I'm just going to get the volume in. I don't think I can push the 100 meter sprints. If you're there, you're there. But we would encourage you guys to do whatever you need to do on Tuesday to be able to go in on Wednesday and actually sprint those 100 meters or, obviously the other versions, on the row, it's a 125. That should be, it's so short. It should be a really hard.
Yeah.
Not 100% effort, but pretty close.
And there might be like a little bit of a learning curve to the pacing, right? Because the first 400 meters should be easy. And that sometimes we overestimate maybe what that is for us, especially on the first couple of rounds. So as you guys are going through the rounds, you might find that your easy is like literally a shuffle, or maybe part of it is just kind of walking and, you know, like a quick walk or something like that. But adjust your paces so that, like Mer said, once you get to the very hard, you can really push. Because if you go too hard on the easy or the moderate, you'll find it harder to give that very hard effort on the
especially because there's only a 1 minute rest. That's very
which is
short.
not a lot of time.
That's very short. I remember because Caitlin and I tested a lot of these endurance, and there was a couple where I was like, no, I'm just my pace is the same. It's the same from like moderate and to where it's supposed to be hard. Like I'm not able to, because you're going a little bit too hard on the moderate or on the easy. So I like that. Yeah. Even if that means it's a walk for you or a little shuffle mixed with a walk or whatever, the volume of that is what's important. Get the full 400 meters, whatever feels easy for you. But then where the money is made on this workout is those 100-meter very hard sprints.
So. And you guys might find that over the next, few weeks, honestly, of the endurance focus, that you're having to kind of figure out your paces. And obviously, the more you stick with it and the more consistent you are, it's going to start getting easier to understand what the paces are. And you'll be able to distinguish them a little bit better, and also probably push a little bit harder.
We did this when we tested this one. I did the mixed one, which is a 400-meter run and then a moderate assault bike, 11 cals, and then a 100-meter run at the end. And I remember for a lot of you guys, if you're anything like me, which most people are, I mean, I'm a 42-year-old woman that just has a normal life of like, I'm doing my stuff with my kids and work and everything. It had been a minute since I had opened up in a full-on 100-meter sprint. Like we don't often do that in workouts. Yes, we run hard, or yes, we run fatigued, but like I sprint. So a couple of things, warm up well.
Yes.
That first like 600 meters will warm you up a little bit, but like warm up well for this one. And then just know, like my hamstrings got really sore and my hip flexors, even though it was only, I think I did 6 rounds, even though it was only 6 rounds of that 100-meter sprinting. Like if it's been a minute since you've taken off in a full-on sprint, there's going to be a physical reaction to that your body's going to have. So warm up really well for it.
For sure. Yeah. I am in the same boat. Like in some ways I'm excited about it because I do feel myself getting a little slow, and I want to push that side of things because, like you said, it's not something we do very often. But yeah, it is also going to be challenging in a different way.
It's even a little bit like scary to run that fast if you haven't run that fast for a while. Like because like your brain, or like because we're fit and we do, high intensity, you're capable of going pretty fast, but like maybe you just haven't moved your feet that fast for a long time. And I did it on the runner. So maybe that's even a little bit more scary because I felt like I was just going to eat it. But yeah, just be aware of that. Maybe do a couple, like a little bit faster surges before you start the workout so that you know what it's going to feel like.
Yeah.
Julie had asked, I'm starting the 5K program tomorrow. I'm not sure if I should also do the Wednesday endurance. I think you should just stick to the 5K program, Julie, if you're going to do that.
Yes, I agree.
But have one of those days be on Wednesday so that you're not missing, the other stuff.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. Well, now that you're nice and sore. Okay. So I'm in week 2, Chelsea. I don't know if you saw my post that I put up about how I'm committed to doing all 6 days.
Yes, I did.
And it's so funny because Julian will come in and be like, what are you feeling like doing for fitness today? And I'm like, I have to do the daily workout. Like no questions asked. Because I felt a little excited and made a post and made a public statement that I was going to only do the dailies. And so, because sometimes on Saturday, like he'll make something up because we have a group that comes over and so we'll do it. But no, I'm on week 2. So let's see, once I'm wrecked from these sprints, what I got to do on Thursday. Oh, here comes Cruy. Here comes Pokemon. Come here, Clutch. Where are you going?
I should getting married.
Who's getting married?
Sheridan.
Did she get engaged?
No, she's getting married.
Today?
Yeah.
I don't think she's getting married today because I just heard about this. She's getting married this weekend?
No, she got engaged this weekend.
Oh, I was like, wait, our nanny who watches Cruy, her sister got engaged. Cruy, come give me besto. Are you getting married?
No.
Okay, good. I love you.
If I go to the wedding, what do they just do?
You want to go? I don't know. We'll go see what kind of wedding it is.
Okay.
Okay, I love you.
Well, you're gonna come to the wedding.
I'm not going to send you to the wedding by yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, I love you.
Mama, did you know going to the wedding?
Yeah, we'll go to the wedding.
Well, sure, then you gonna go to the
She'll look beautiful.
Yeah,
Okay. Love you.
we're gonna go fix Judy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her leg broke too.
Again? Okay. All right. So Thursday we've got, I'm going to look at the barbell version because that was like the original programmed version, I believe. What do we got here, Chelsea?
We have 4, so it's 7 rounds. This is going to be definitely more of a strength focus. We got 4 to 6 barbell front squats, 8 to 10 deficit push-ups, or there's also a barbell bench press option. And then a 30-second hollow hold. You guys will just rest as needed between those rounds. There's no like designated rest. You kind of get to choose your rest. And I think that's awesome because, you know, depending on where you want to take this workout, like if you want to go heavy for your front squats, you could rest a little bit more. If you're like, I'm feeling kind of sore from maybe Monday and also a little bit from maybe Wednesday's workout and stuff, feeling kind of beat up, you could also just work on the moderate side of things. So you wouldn't necessarily have to go quite as heavy if you just want to get some movement in.
When I do workouts like this, I like to like not even just really look at the clock.
Exactly.
And I just like, this is a fun one to do. Like if you've got a friend to come over and work out with you, like, let's just do it. You're like chatting in between, sipping your coffee, whatever. Obviously when you go to do the reps, you want to like have it be challenging enough that you're not checked out or anything, but especially on a Thursday after the 3 days before, totally.
Yeah. You could kind of play around with it and do. Yeah. And like Mer said, you don't even need to really turn on the clock for this one. Sometimes I do just to keep myself on track. Cause I tend to rest a little longer than I should. But you wouldn't have to do that.
Or like, it's a fun one to like, hey, let's share a bar. Like we'll just set up one bar and like go back and forth. And you're not like, oh, it's my turn. I gotta go, you know? And it's like this panicky on the clock thing where you're just kind of hanging out with somebody. This is a good hangout workout is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And if you guys are feeling good, like we encourage you to go heavy, use a heavier weight for yourself. Like this should be pretty challenging in regards to the weight that you're using. The primary focus is going to be that. And then, you know, same for the deficit push-up, like choosing a rep scheme where you can go mostly unbroken. And, you know, if deficit push-ups are kind of off the table for you, you can always do the barbell bench press or a dumbbell bench press option. And if you want to just work on your push-ups, you can take the deficit out, just go from your toes.
Yeah. If you normally go, like if a workout normally has sets of like 20 or whatever push-ups in it, and you usually go from your knees or you do like an elevated push-up, this might be a good one to be like, all right, I'm going to do 6 or 8 push-ups from my toes, even if it's broken up and I like do one at a time. This would be a great workout to like do something like that in. Or, I mean, you could even do, if you're somebody who's working through the push-up program, you could be like, all right, I'm going to do the front squats and I'm going to do my little round of the push-up program stuff. And then I'll do, and I think the push-up program probably has hollow rocks in it. I can't remember because we made it a while ago, but so yeah, this would be an opportunity for you to be like, cool, I'm going to work in my push-up program this week instead of doing the deficit or the bench.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And just some way, find a way to kind of level up what you normally do for push-ups, making it just a little bit more challenging.
And I think.
And then program A is a 1 1/4 squat.
And C is too with the sandbag.
Yep. Which is basically where you guys will lower down into the bottom of your squat, stand up like a quarter. So about half squat, back down, and then back up. So it's a little bit more time under tension. And you have to be focusing a lot more on control. So it's not necessarily going to be quite as fast as your typical squat.
Yeah, it's so hard to stop at the quarter up section and then go back down. It's so uncomfortable.
And speaking of hips, like whenever I do these, I always my hips are always sore the next day, especially if I haven't done them like for a while. You'll feel it a lot in your hips for sure.
One thing I've noticed, like, okay, so there's a lot of choice I've noticed this week. So like Tuesday, it was like accumulate however you want. Even Wednesday on the endurance track, it's 5 or 6 rounds. And then on this Thursday, you've got 8 to 10 reps. So it's not like a set amount of reps. What's up with all of that? Like, can you give a little bit of guidance around when people see stuff like that?
Yeah, I think that the choices are great because it puts you guys kind of in the driver's seat of your fitness, right? So we can just provide you guys and tell you exactly what to do, but we don't know everything that's going on with your life. And we don't know how much sleep you got last night, what other stressors you might have going on. And so this just kind of allows you to pick based on how you're feeling for that day. I would say that's the biggest thing for me is like when I look at a workout and I'm like, maybe I feel good and I might go the higher end of whatever it is and like really push myself, right? And maybe I'm not. Maybe that day is sort of just like a kind of need to just get in, get my fitness done, and then get out. And in that case, I might go for the lower end. So this allows you guys to choose and have some freedom in how you approach your fitness. You still need to be honest with yourself, right? Like check in, like, am I just, picking the easy thing for the sake of picking easy? Or do I need to kind of step out of my comfort zone today? Am I just coming up with excuses as to why maybe I wouldn't want to do 6 rounds of the endurance? So we're just giving you guys some freedom to kind of pick and choose what you need for that day, whether that be harder or easier.
I think it can, because you learn a lot of you guys are still in the stage where you're learning a lot about what you're capable of too. So I think like when I look at Wednesday's workout with the 5 to 6 rounds, to me, when I see something like that, it's usually, I almost always go into it and be like, all right, I'm just going to do the 5. And then when I'm done with the 5, even if I'm wrecked, I'm like, whatever, I'll just do one more.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a gateway drug in that way. But then I look at the previous day where it's like 90 and 30. Let's say I was like feeling a little like overzealous and I'm like, I'm going to go straight through. I'm going to do extra challenge. But then I get 30 reps in and I'm like, what am I doing? This is horrible. There's also a little bit of like an escape route of like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to switch now to doing rounds because this is going to take me forever. And I don't feel as good as I thought I did or whatever, So I think that it just provides a little bit of reality either way or options either way, even mid workout that you can say like, oh, I thought I was feeling better than I actually am. Or actually, I think I can do one more round. So that's cool. And then same thing with the reps, like, there's a big difference between sets of 4 on a front squat and sets of 6. And so 4 obviously is an invitation to go heavier, where 6 is going to be a little bit lighter, but we're going to give a few more reps out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
One other thing too about, and maybe Merc can relate with this, but like sometimes when you're working out with your kids and they're running around crazy and you like have this, I'm going to do 6 rounds of the endurance, but you get to round 4 and you're like, we're not making it to 6. It gives you that little like, okay, well, I did the 5 rounds, right? You got the 5 rounds in.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. Other people I'm sure are in that position too.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, yes, all the time. All right, cool. So then on Friday, so this week, Friday is when we have the endurance option, which I think last week it was on Saturday. I'm going to read the regular version first, and then we'll talk about the endurance one. So the regular version was just 3 rounds of 20 deadlifts, 10 power cleans, and a 400-meter run with 2 minutes rest between rounds. So basically, like when I read that and I see the 2 minutes rest, I'm trying to do the deadlifts in 2 sets, probably the power cleans in 1 or 2 sets, and then push the run because it's a pretty long rest. And then if you're like, hey, I'm really trying to do this endurance and add in more running, the endurance option is there's no rest. And there's a 200-meter run in between the deadlifts and the cleans.
Yep. A lot more running.
Yeah. And no rest. So it requires you to, it's more of an endurance workout because you're not resting at all.
Yeah. It's a little bit different approach because I would say A, B, and C I'm pushing each round as hard as I can. I'm giving a really high effort. Where this one is like, you can't quite approach it in the same way. It's more just start off consistent and try to maintain that consistency for the entire workout. So nothing's going to be like super fast, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could maybe, depending on where you're at with your fitness and how comfortable you feel with it, you could try pushing the 200-meter runs in between and changing your pace a little bit for those. But just so long that you can transition quick into the power cleans, get them done, and then head out on maybe a more moderate 400-meter run, maybe not quite as fast.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I would say based off of like Wednesday's workout with those 100-meter sprints, if I was like really, my goal was I want to improve, and this is me, and it always has been me, and something that I really had to work on is I was always really good when I was competing at anything that was less than like 7-8 minutes. I was going to do great. But like take me outside of like 10 minutes and the further away from the 10-minute mark we get, and I'm just expected to move steadily, like I'm in trouble now. I can't hold it. So for someone like me, if you are someone like that, what I would suggest is not to push any of the runs. Obviously run at an uncomfortable pace, but to try really to keep breaks for all of this stuff at a minimum. And I don't mean like don't put the barbell down, because if you do that, you're probably going to end up resting for a long time. But like even if it's set to 5 on the deadlifts, like very short rest, where the total rest intervals, if you were to add up all the rest in the workout, would be very minimal, and you're just moving steadily throughout the whole thing. If you're doing the endurance focus, I would say like, and you know that that's something that you struggle with, is steadily moving through a longer workout. This is a great one to like not over strategize, but move in a way that allows you to just really not stop often.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree. One other note, or something I was just thinking about, if you guys are jumping into the endurance focus and maybe on Wednesday you're kind of doing more of the running, even if you're doing mixed, or maybe you're just doing the running version and you weren't running that much before, remember, and if you're tackling these workouts as well, remember you can always throw in a bike row option,
Totally.
which could be good and smart kind of approach to your training, just to alleviate a lot of that impact from the running. And you're still going to get the same stimulus from the workout. So just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, especially, because we got 12 weeks of this. It's not like a 1 month long thing. It's 12 weeks. So if the volume of running is new for you, that would be a smart thing to do. The other thing, if you don't have a bike or a rower, because a lot of people are like, well, that sounds great, but I have to run just because it's all that I have. One thing that I did on Saturday, because we did the endurance version of the workout on Saturday, was for my second run, I did a sandbag walk. I carried it because we have the hills over here. So you could throw on a ruck and walk, or grab the sandbag and go for a walk. Because it's a little bit less impact and it's different, but it's still very endurance.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I love that.
Cool. All right.
Leslie asked a question: lighter deadlifts or 2 bars?
I think the idea is just to have 1 bar.
Yeah, I would say 1 bar. I would say lighter deadlifts. If even if you're capable of going unbroken with that weight, go unbroken, and stick with the same weight for both movements.
Yeah, totally. Okay. And then let's see, because it is a lot. It's like 60 deadlifts.
But fitness freedom.
Totally.
If you have 2 barbells and you want to play around a couple different weights, by all means, go for that.
Yeah, or if like a clean is really something that you're not super comfortable with, so you go like pretty light, that would be fine too. Or maybe grab your dumbbells for the cleans or something.
Yeah.
Or go heavier kettlebells for the deadlifts. That's like a Julian favorite to do. And then, okay. And then on Saturday, we've got just a 10-minute AMRAP. It's like, thank goodness,
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I thought the same thing.
This week has been a lot. We got double unders or hop overs, shoulder press, and pull up. Which actually, when I saw this workout, it somewhat reminded me of the inverted row shoulder press, push jerk workout that we did last week. But a little bit different. All shoulder. So this is your intensity is going to come down with the shoulder press added in, and it's only 10 minutes.
Yes.
And your lower body is destroyed by this point. So we're like, you know what? Other than the little jump here, we're going to take your lower body out of it a little bit. Don't be afraid to do a skip over if you're just trashed from the week. Yes. I know sometimes when I see hop overs or double unders, the combination of my former knee injury and having 3 kids, I'm like, I don't want to jump today. I don't want to do any form of jumping. So I'll just like ride the Concept 2 bike or something else that just is moving, getting my heart rate up. So that's always an option for you guys as well.
Yeah. And even like kind of similar to the addition to a lot of running. So if that's you and you're running a lot more than normal, it could be a good day to kind of lower the impact a little bit. I know we were trying to be mindful of how much volume that, because it's really not going to be that much. So you'll be fine. But if you are feeling some soreness in your calves and ankles and things, definitely consider a lower impact option for that double under hop over.
Cool. And we're not done yet, but I did just check my messages with Emma. She said that we're going to try to stream it. She thinks it's an issue on StreamYard's end. And so we'll try to stream the vault workout later. We'll finish what we're doing right now. And what I was going to say is I'll probably go when I do this workout, I'll probably go with the strict pull up as well. Like the volume of toes to bar, I'm assuming today will be high. And I'm not going to show you guys, but I'm going to look at what next week's vault workout is really quick to give you a warning.
Yeah, I like that. The strict pull-up option. You guys could also do inverted rows. Like that would be another really great way to tackle this one. But the 30 alternating shoulder press is going to slow things down quite a bit. I mean, it's 30 reps. Even though they're pretty quick, it's,
I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys to just, there's going to be some shoulder fatigue on Monday. Okay.
Yes.
Next week.
Yeah.
Because this is the one that Julian and I filmed recently. So.
Well, and also, oh no, never mind. But yeah, this will be a good one to get after. Do we want to talk about the vault a little bit more so that people maybe have some strategies as they head into this, even though we won't be able to, for anyone who's jumping on late, we're having some issues with our video, but we can go over the workout and kind of give you guys some strategies and ways to attack it.
Yeah, go for it. So again, it's 1 minute toes to bar, 1 minute shoulder to overhead, 1 minute box jumps, 1 minute wall ball. 1 minute rest, 5 rounds.
Yes. This is, I think, definitely out the gate, some smaller sets just that will keep you guys moving. And when I say smaller, that's just going to be really relative to you. You know, that changes from person to person. And some people, 10 toe to bar is going to be a small set for them. And others, it's going to be more like 5. So just kind of finding a way to chip away inside of the minutes where you can accumulate as many reps as you can. And that will keep you moving more consistently versus trying to bite off these huge sets. And then you get to, maybe 40 seconds in the minute and you're like, I'm going to set the dumbbells down or barbell, whatever it is, and I'm not going to be able to get any more reps, right? Where you will have to likely break up the toe to bar and the shoulder to overhead and the wall ball at least once or twice within the minute.
Totally.
And just keeping that in mind, but keeping your rest short. So trying not to bite off more than you can chew inside of the minute.
Yeah, looking at like the goals for each one, it says the goal for toes to bar, because I feel like that's probably the one that's people are deciding, should I even do toes to bar or should I do the alternative option? 12 to 20. So if you could do realistically 6 sets of 2, like 2 every 10 seconds in that minute, then go for it on the toes to bar if you can maintain that for all 5 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
If that even seems like not doable, couple options is you could just not do toes to bar for the workout and do one of the alternatives, or you could say, okay, for every other round I'll do toes to bar, or for the first 3 rounds I'll do toes to bar and then I'll switch to the alternative option. So don't feel like you're like, well, I think I could do 12 for at least like 1 or 2 rounds. Go for it, because that's how you eventually end up building up to being able to do a workout full of toes to bar. But that's probably the one where people are going to have the hardest time. That, or potentially the box jumps if you only have, let's say, a 20-inch box. And let's see what the reps are for that one. The goal reps 14 to 23. So similar. And of course, again, if you guys don't have something to jump on, find something to jump over. Step ups are always an option. Like even a Russian kettlebell swing for this one, because there's not another pull from the ground, could be an option.
Yeah. And I would say the goal for the box jump would be just to find a way to stay moving. So even if you have to, jump onto the box stand all the way up, right? And then take a second before you set back down. Like that's okay. Some people are going to be able to move a little bit quicker. Maybe this is the minute where you're really pushing yourself. But you can slow it down and just find a way to keep moving and not having to stop for, an extended period of time. That would be the goal for the box jump, is just methodical, steady movement.
And then for the shoulder to overhead, like as soon as your cycle time slows down, Chelsea, wouldn't you say like put it down for a second?
Yeah, because it's just more time under tension. Like if you're just sitting there with your dumbbells or even the barbell on your shoulder rack, you're not really resting because you're having to hold that bar up there, right? Or dumbbells. So set them down, shake it out, take 5 seconds or so, get the dumbbells or weight back on your shoulders, and then go again. Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
And I think that one I probably broke up maybe once inside the minute. So I do like a bigger set and then I'd set them down and then I do another set. And by then it was time to transition.
I mean, cycle time wise, depending on your strength for shoulder to overhead, that is the minute with the most potential for highest number of reps because it's just fast.
Yes.
Especially if you're Chelsea height.
Yeah. Short arms.
There was a
question.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So hi, for the vault this week, if I'm 32 weeks pregnant, I know mama modifications, but to keep intensity higher, like a toe to bar.
I would say just go with there's enough opportunity for intensity if you're still feeling that good at 32 weeks on the other 3 movements. Yeah. Just choose one of the mama modifications. And they all are a little bit slower. And trust me, like you're like, why am I these workouts? It's so boring sometimes, and you're just so frustrated. Like, I just want to be able to go hard. I feel like you have enough opportunity in the other 3 movements to do that. That's how I would approach it when I was pregnant. But
you could do, the kettlebell swing or a ball slam for the toe to bar.
Totally.
And those would be pretty intense.
The ball slam was a favorite of mine when I was pregnant.
Yeah, I love that one. Mm-hmm. And pairing that with all the other movements in this workout. And I'm pretty sure a kettlebell swing is a mama modification, maybe just an eye level swing, but that would be a really great way to keep the intensity high, especially if you're feeling good. And that will give you a good dose of intensity for each one of the minutes.
Cool.
Yeah. So let's see, dumbbell, or I did a push jerk. I don't know what Molly did. I feel like
she was definitely push pressing it. I'm just going to go.
I wanted to talk about that a little bit and like maybe what should I do, right? I always prefer a push jerk. I feel
like a little mini push jerk, right?
Yeah, a mini push jerk, not like an aggressive one, just a little dip underneath because I feel like it's so much more efficient for me and I can get more reps out. Where if I do a push press, my shoulders are going to fatigue a lot quicker. So when you guys are kind of deciding what to do, I know dumbbell push jerk can be a little bit more uncomfortable. Not everyone's going to feel as comfortable with the dumbbells maybe versus a barbell, but that's kind of the difference between the two. Push press is much faster. Push jerk will be a little slower, but in my opinion, it kind of will allow for some bigger sets. But if you're Molly and your shoulders are super strong and you want to bang out as many reps as you can, push press would be the way to go for you.
Yeah, like I know Julian will just push press away, and I'm just like, no, if I don't do a redip, I'm gonna fail a rep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as soon as your cycle time slows down, take a short break, rest. You're gonna get a lot more, especially like if that's happening already in the earlier rounds. Like it's just gonna add up, especially when you throw in the shoulder fatigue into the wall ball. So just be smart about that one. Yeah.
In wall ball, I want to say, we were probably getting 2 or 3 sets inside of the minute. But that is the 1 minute where you're going to work to the top of the minute. Like you're going to go all the way until you hear a beep or until your minute ends, whatever that is for you. And just try to get as many reps as you can. Where the other minutes, we would give ourselves about 10, 15 seconds to transition. So that's one thing to remember when you guys are moving through those minutes is you're going to want a little time to transition into the next one. But the wall ball, you stay there, you work the entire minute to get as many reps as you can.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to say, Molly, when she sent over her notes, she said that you guys were working for about 50 seconds and then you would just like gain some composure. Maybe it's grab some chalk or walk over to your box or whatever. Give yourself that little 10-second reset.
And I think Molly was getting up into she stayed above 90 reps each round, I know. I started there, but I was between 85 and 90 the whole time. So that
She
was kind of
said
our,
she did 96, 99. Oh, she could just one more. 96, 99, 94, 92, and 90.
yeah. So there's probably going to be a gradual drop off, and that's totally normal for a workout like this. In some ways that should happen. Like you should be kind of like the second round, you actually might get a little better in Molly's case. Because you're just getting warmed up. And then after that, you're going to have a gradual drop off. That's normal.
And I think she said that where it was really, let's see, she said the fourth and fifth round were the hardest to stay checked in on. I would say the fourth round in something like this is, for me, really the worst part, because you're so like in your mind, I'm like, really, 3 rounds would have been fine.
Yeah, totally.
And then, but I'm not, this isn't my last round. Like I still have to do another one after this. So I have a really hard time in something like this on round 4.
Yeah, for sure. Round 4 is definitely where you're going to have to be like, okay, just block it all out. I'm here to do what I need to do.
Yeah.
One other tip that I have to mention is the counting. So you guys are going to count total reps for each round. On the first round, I did my toe to bar and then I started over again. Don't do that. Just keep a running total in your head. So if you get 20 toe to bar or whatever, 15 toe to bar, then it's like when you move to your box jump shoulder to overhead, it's like 16, 17, and just keep counting up, because there's no way you're going to be able to do that math remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we would just jot it down on a whiteboard, however many reps we got each round.
Yeah, great. I think I do remember originally when this workout was programmed, it was total reps per movement. And I was like, no, that's way too annoying to keep track of, because unless you're writing it down in between each one, but then it's like taking time in the minute. And so we switched it to per round, all 4 movements. So
yeah, this is way easier. That would have been so hard to remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my tip for the counting, to keep track.
All right, cool. And if you get past 3 rounds and you're just like dying, just like move, just keep moving. Do your best and keep moving. Get a score so that in 6 months when we retest it, you have an idea. I think this workout is a great one to diagnose like areas of weakness where you're like, I totally hit the goal reps on these 3 movements, but this one I really struggle with. I think it can be really good at that. Like some people, like we were talking about shoulder fatigue, but some people are like, oh man, it's going to be my legs and the wall balls and the box jumps. Like I'm just going to be so fatigued at that. Or it's the toes to bar. Like I still am having a really hard time hanging onto the bar or whatever. So I think it can be really great for that. So if you do have an idea at the end, or if you film yourself and want to go back and count it or whatever, of which movement you were furthest away from the goal, could give you some really key info to knowing like some weaknesses that you might want to work on. Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. All right, guys. Well, the team will figure it out and we'll put up the video of the actual. It was just too fast. You guys were just moving too fast. It was too impressive that YouTube's like, the world can't handle this performance. I don't know about that, but it was good. All right. All right, guys. Have a everybody
great
go
week.
to Molly's Instagram and wish her happy birthday today. And we'll figure out the video and put it up later. All right, guys. Have a great week. Okay. Thanks, Chels.